Welcome to the Biological Life Sciences channel. Today we are going to see a very important topic in molecular biology, that is nucleotide biosynthesis. So let's begin. Before starting the biosynthesis of nucleotide, let's see the structure of nucleotide. As we know, the structure of nucleotide is having three important components. The first and foremost component is the ribose sugar, which is a pentose sugar, and there is a presence of phosphate group and nitrogenous base at carbon number 1. The phosphate group is attached at carbon number 5 of ribose sugar and it is connected by a phosphoesterase bond. These are the 5 different bases present in the nucleic acid, where adenine, guanine, thymine and cytosine is present in DNA, and in RNA there is a uracil in place of thymine. You can see here 6-aminopurine is adenine, 2-amino-6-oxypurine is guanine. These are the structures of the three pyrimidines here: thymine, cytosine and uracil. You can see in pyrimidine bases the ring is a hexameric ring, whereas in purine the ring is a hexameric ring which is attached to a pentameric ring. The carbon numbers or the atom present in the rings are numbered like this, and in purines also it is numbered like this. We are going to see the biosynthesis. There are two important pathways of biosynthesis, that is de novo synthesis and salvage synthesis. We are going to see the synthesis for purine as well as pyrimidine here. The two pathways here leads to the formation of nucleotide. The difference here is, in case of de novo pathway, a completely new nucleotide is formed, whereas in case of salvage pathway, the nucleotides are recycled, which are obtained from different processes in the cell, and they are recycled and formed again into the nucleotides. Let's see the difference between purine and pyrimidine synthesis. The purine synthesis starts with the PRPP, purine ring, which is present at the starting only. So PRPP is the precursor for purine synthesis. PRPP is phosphoribosyl pyrophosphate. You can see the phosphate group is attached to the carbon number 5 of this ribose sugar, and at the carbon number first there is an attachment of 2 phosphate groups. So this is the precursor for purine synthesis in case of de novo pathway. In case of pyrimidine de novo pathway, the pyrimidine ring is first synthesized, then this PRPP is added to this and the nucleotide is completed. You can see here in salvage pathway, the activated PRPP is taken from the cytoplasm and the base is added to it. This base we get it from different pathways present in the cell, which is a base product of these pathways, and it is attached to the activated PRPP and the nucleotide is formed. That is, the nucleotide is recycled in this case. But in de novo pathway, the activated PRPP is taken along with certain amino acids, ATP and CO2. The whole new nucleotide is formed. So therefore it's a new synthesis. Let's see the de novo synthesis. The site of de novo synthesis is in cytosol of liver, small intestine and thymus. The characteristics: purines are synthesized using 5-phosphoribulose phosphate, that is ribose 5-phosphate as the starting material step by step. This ribose 5-phosphate we get it from HMP shunt pathway or hexose monophosphate shunt or pentose phosphate pathway. Here PRPP is the active donor of ribose 5-phosphate. So now for the ribose 5-phosphate we require PRPP. AMP and GMP are synthesized further at the base of inosinate monophosphate. So this inosinate monophosphate is the common intermediate for AMP and GMP formation that we are going to see in details. This is the purine nucleus or the basic structure of purine. There are different atoms present in the ring, mainly carbon and nitrogen. You can see here in this picture, the nitrogen number 1 is given by aspartate, then carbon number 2 is from formate, then nitrogen number 3 and 9 is given by glutamine amino acids, then carbon number 8 is from formate, and carbon number 4, 5 and 7 is given by glycine amino acid, and carbon number 6 is from bicarbonate. So these are the different sources from which different atoms are taken into the purine ring. Let's see the biosynthesis of purine. It starts from ribose 5-phosphate, which we obtain from HMP pathway, and this ribose 5-phosphate is first of all converted into PRPP. It requires 11 overall steps and it occurs primarily in liver. This is the at a glance picture of this whole pathway till the inosinate monophosphate. you can see here the different intermediates of this pathway are present, and this whole pathway follows up till the formation of inosinate monophosphate. We are going to see the whole pathway in step by step manner in this video. You can take the screenshot of this particular photograph so that you can get the whole pathway at a glance. We are going to see each and every step in details in coming time. So first of all, the ribose 5-phosphate that is obtained from HMP shunt pathway is activated. It is activated using ATP and Mg2 plus ions. You can see here it is converted into 5-phosphoribosyl 1-pyrophosphate, that is PRPP, which acts as the precursor for de novo synthesis of purine. The first step here, you can see the PRPP is present here in the first step. You can see the parent structure of the purine here in every coming steps, and how the nucleotide is built so that you can compare here. Let's see the first step. The first step is catalyzed by the enzyme glutamine PRPP amidotransferase. So now the amido group of glutamine is transferred into this PRPP. You can see here in this glutamine amino acid is added and it is converted into glutamate, and the amine group is added at the carbon number first, and the pyrophosphate is released from this step. This is the second number step. The product from the previous step, that is 5-phospho beta D ribosylamine, is taken, and the new enzyme here in second step is GAR synthesis. GAR means glycinamide ribonucleotide synthetase. This enzyme uses glycine amino acid. The whole glycine amino acid is integrated at this particular position. Now from here onwards in this step, this whole ribose sugar will be labeled as this R group, that is alkyl group, and the whole nucleotide is built at this position. You can see here the carbon number 1 is the attachment position of nitrogenous base, and this is this nitrogen which starts from here. You can see in this base the nitrogen number 3. Here it is attached to the carbon number 1. So this whole ribose phosphate sugar is taken as R here, and the nucleotide is built on that. The enzyme GAR synthetase adds the glycine amino acid to this nitrogen like this. It uses the ATP as an energy source here, and the product formed is GAR. In the step 3, this GAR is taken. The added glycine amino acid is then formulated by N10 formyl tetrahydrofolate. This is an intermediate available in the cell cytoplasm, and this intermediate is added here. It is converted into H4 hydrofolate, and this group is added to the glycine amino acid which is previously added, and this becomes formyl glycinamide ribonucleotide, that is FGAR. Let's see the next step. This FGAR from previous step is added with glutamine. The enzyme catalyzed here is FGAR amidotransferase, and this is converted into glutamate in the presence of an ATP, and this ring is attached here and it forms formyl glycinamide ribonucleotide. You can see here there is a attachment of amine group or amide group at this position carbon, which is absent in the previous step. Now this forms is FGAM, that is formyl glycinamide ribonucleotide. Let's go to the next step. This is the step number 5 of this pathway. You can see the product of previous step, that is formyl glycinamide ribonucleotide. Here there is ATP added and a water molecule is released. Dehydration and ring closure yields the 5-membered ring, that is imidazole ring. This 5-membered ring is called imidazole ring. This ring is closed here at this position. It is closed by dehydration, that is this H, this oxygen and this H together forms the water molecule, and it is eluted out and the ring is closed here. So the product formed here is 5-aminoimidazole ribonucleotide, that is AIR, and it is also called as AIR synthetase or FGAM cyclase, as is cyclase this reactant here. In step number 6, step number 6 occurs in 3 subsequent steps. You can see here AIR. It is first, it can be converted in directly into this component, that is CAIR, or it can be converted via this way. Let's see the first way here. Let's see the first way here. Here AIR, there is an addition of bicarbonate ions which is present inside the cell. Now this bicarbonate ion, you can see here, it is in presence of ATP and the enzyme N5CAIR synthetase. It is converted into ADP and PI, and the component or the nucleotide is added here, that is C double bond O, that is group is added here, and the compound formed here is N5 carboxylamido imidazole ribonucleotide, that is N5CAIR. Okay, so now this compound is again converted into carboxyl amino imidazole ribonucleotide. It can also occur via this intermediate, you can see here. AIR is converted into this carboxyamino imidazole ribonucleotide using AIR carboxylase enzyme. This requires the addition of CO2 molecule here, and after addition of CO2 molecule directly this is formed. So this step occurs in two ways here. So this is the bifurcation of this step shown here. So the enzyme used here is N5CAIR mutase, then it is converted into carboxyamino imidazole ribonucleotide. This is further taken into the pathway. Now step number 6 and 7 are only found in bacteria and fungi. In higher eukaryotes including humans, 5-AIR product of step 5 is carboxylated directly into CAIR. Means this step directly occurs in humans and other eukaryotes, but this step is immersed in bacteria and fungi. Now after the CAIR synthesis is synthesized, CSAI CAR synthetase, this product, that is succinyl amino imidazole 4-carboxamide ribonucleotide SAICAR. This product is formed using SAICAR synthetase enzyme. Here there is a requirement of an amino acid called as aspartate amino acid. In the presence of ATP, it adds the whole aspartate moiety at this carbon atom. You can see here the whole aspartate amino acid is added here for the formation of second ring, that is hexameric ring of the purine nucleotide. Now this pentameric ring is already formed and there is a building of hexameric ring taking place. So here the SAICAR intermediate that is formed in last step is added, is the fumarate is removed from here, that is a compound fumarate is removed, and only this amino group or amine group of this compound is left here at this position. The enzyme here is SAICAR lyase. It breaks this and it forms 5-amino imidazole 4-carboxamide ribonucleotide AICAR. It is shortened as that, and this amine group is attached at this position. In step number 10, we can see here the AICAR, that is a product of previous step, is added with N10 formyl H4 tetrahydrofolate. This formyl group is attached at this position here, so therefore this intermediate is added here. The tetrahydrofolate is removed and formyl group is taken into the next coming product. The enzyme used here is AICAR transformylase, as it adds the formyl group. You can see here there is addition of formyl group to this nitrogen here, which forms the carbon from here, that is formate. You can see the formate is given at this position, so this formyl group is added here. Okay, so now at the step number 9, step number 11, you can see here FAICR, the product in previous reaction, it is by the enzyme IMP synthetase, that is inosinate monophosphate synthetase. By the removal of H2O, you can see here the hydrogen, oxygen, and from hydrogen from here is removed and water molecule is removed as a result of the dehydration by this IMP synthetase enzyme. The whole IMP nucleotide is formed. You can see here the R group present in this, the whole ring is formed here and the R group is substituted here. Now this R group is present in every reactions. Just for convenience, we are writing it as R. At the last you can get this compound, that is inosinate or inosinate monophosphate, which is the precursor for adenine and guanine synthesis. Now let's see how IMP is converted into adenine or how IMP is converted into guanine. These are the number of enzymes required in this pathway. You can see here how inosinate monophosphate formed in previous steps are converted into either AMP, or GMP. First of all, the inosinate monophosphate is acted upon by adenylosuccinate synthetase enzyme. Here, there is a requirement of GTP and Mg2 plus ions, and it is converted into adenylosuccinate. You can see here the group attached here is at the nitrogen position. The oxygen is removed from here and amine group is attached here. Now you can see here in the next step, adenylosuccinase enzyme removes all the other moiety from this amino acid, and only this amine group is kept at this position, which results in the formation of adenosine monophosphate. Now this is the adenosine monophosphate formed from inosinate monophosphate. Okay, now let's see the guanine formation. Here inosinate monophosphate is acted upon by IMP dehydrogenase enzyme. As dehydrogenase power, that is NADP positive, is used here, it is converted into NADH plus H plus, and there is an addition of H2O molecule here. You can see here at this carbon there is an attachment of oxygen here, and xanthosine monophosphate is formed, that is XMP. Now this XMP, using the enzyme transaminidase and an amino acid called as glutamine, is converted into glutamate, and amine group is added at this position, which results in the formation of guanosine monophosphate. So here this is how the IMP is converted into adenosine monophosphate and guanine monophosphate. So the purine nucleotides are synthesized by this way using de novo synthesis. Let's see the regulation of purine nucleotide synthesis. This is the regulatory pathway. As we have seen the whole pathway, there are certain steps which are regulatory steps of this pathway. The first and foremost step is ribose 5-phosphate. You can see here this ribose 5-phosphate is converted into PRPP. This PRPP is a precursor of our biosynthesis pathway. Okay, so now this is inhibited by the enzyme ADP. As ADP is present in high amount, this inhibits this enzyme. Okay, now after the formation of PRPP, this is converted into 5-phosphoribosylamine. This is another intermediate from the pathway, and it is feedback inhibited by number of products from the pathway. If their concentration is more, it will feedback inhibit this enzyme, that is glutamine PRPP amidotransferase. The pathway will not occur in forward direction due to the products feedback. This is called feedback inhibition of the products that inhibits the starting enzyme. Okay, then this 5-phosphoribosylamine then follows 9 steps, which are continuous step. There is no break in between, and there is a formation of IMP. Now after the IMP formation, there are 2 regulatory steps at this site, that is adenylosuccinate synthetase and IMP dehydrogenase. These both enzymes are inhibited by the product, that is AMP and GMP itself. So whatever the product inhibits its own enzyme, this is called feedback inhibition. And if the product is not present in ample amount, the pathway is favored, and if the product is present in ample amount in the cell, the pathway is feedback inhibited and the pathway is need not to be carried out. This is how the cell saves the energy, and purine synthesis is regulated in this manner. Let's see the salvage pathway for purine synthesis. This pathway always ensures the recycling of purines formed by degradation of nucleotide. Now there are number of cells that are degraded also into the cell. So this degraded cell is having number of precursors into that. So that is not wasted by the cell. These precursors are taken again and recycled, and new nucleotides are formed. So every time the cell will not waste so much of energy in synthesizing the new nucleotide, whereas the cell uses the recycled nucleotide and forms the new nucleotide. The nucleosides and deoxynucleosides can also be salvaged into the nucleotides. The purine can directly convert it to the corresponding nucleotide, and this process is known as salvage pathway. Salvage pathway of purine synthesis, you can see here adenine, which is obtained from a intermediate from different processes, is attached with the PRPP. This PRPP, the pyrophosphate group from this is removed, and this is attached to the ribose phosphate moiety, and this enzyme used here is adenine phosphoribosyl transferase, and the whole AMP is formed again. You can see here for purines again, hypoxanthine is this hypoxanthine is another intermediate that is obtained in different pathways. This is attached with PRPP directly and it forms the IMP. Now this IMP can be used for synthesis of AMP and GMP. The enzyme here required is hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase. Another pathway from which guanine, when present in different components of cell or as a waste product, is converted into GMP by using or by attaching PRPP sugar. The pyrophosphate is released again as in AMP and GMP is formed. The enzyme used here is hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase. This is how GMP is formed again. So this is the salvage pathway for purine synthesis. Now let's see the pyrimidine metabolism. You can see here pyrimidine nucleus. There are 6 atoms present in the pyrimidine ring. You can see this nitrogen is given by glutamine and these 4 components are given by the amino acid aspartate, and this carbon atom is given by bicarbonate. Okay, so let's see how pyrimidine is synthesized. Biosynthesis of pyrimidine ribonucleotide. We know the difference between the purines and pyrimidine de novo synthesis. In case of pyrimidine, first the pyrimidine ring is formed, then PRPP is attached to it. First, there is a requirement of carbon dioxide, glutamine plus ATP. These 3 components together form carbamoyl phosphate synthetase. This is also called as CAP. Now, this is the structure of carbamoyl phosphate that is required for the synthesis of pyrimidine ring. Now, this carbamoyl phosphate here is synthesized. Now, this carbamoyl phosphate is attached with the activated aspartic acid. This is the structure of aspartic acid here. You can see 2 carboxyl group and 1 amino group here. This is attached to this carbamoyl phosphate by the enzyme aspartate transcarbamylase. Using this enzyme, carbamoyl aspartic acid is formed, that is CAA. You can see a partial structure of pyrimidine is formed here. Now, the enzyme dihydroorotase is used here. This enzyme converts this into dihydroorotic acid, DHOA, and this is how the ring is formed here. Now this acid is using a reducing power, that is dihydroorotate dehydrogenase, using NADH plus H plus, which is found from NADP positive, and it is converted into here orotic acid. Okay, orotic acid is synthesized at the end of this product. Okay, now this orotic acid, that is orotic acid or OMP, this orotic acid is then attached with the ribose 5-phosphate sugar, and this 5-phosphate sugar then it is converted into orotylylic acid decarboxylase. This enzyme converts this OMP into UMP, that is uracil monophosphate or orotic acid. You can see here the previous product formed here. The PRPP sugar is attached to this and the pyrophosphate is released and OMP is formed. Now this OMP is converted into UMP. You can see again here the OMP is converted into UMP here. Now if you have to form CTP and TMP from this, that is cytosine triphosphate and thymidine monophosphate is formed from this. You can see here, first of all, this UMP formed is converted into UDP, that is uracil diphosphate, and this uracil diphosphate using the reducing power, that is NADPH plus H plus, is converted into deoxyuridine diphosphate. As this is in RNA form, it is converted into deoxyuridine diphosphate. It is converted into DUMP, and using thymidylate synthetase enzyme, you can see here, using the thymidylate synthetase enzyme, this DUMP is converted into TMP, that is thymidine monophosphate. Now here at this position, the UDP is again phosphorylated using ATP and converted into UTP, that is uridine triphosphate. Now this uridine triphosphate using an ATP with an enzyme cytidine triphosphate synthetase in the presence of enzyme glutamine is converted into cytidine triphosphate, that is cytosine triphosphate is found from this. Now this cytosine triphosphate is used as and when as CMP in nucleotides. Now let's see the inhibitors of the nucleotide synthesis pathway. You know, there are lots of antibiotics or different compounds that inhibits this pathway. There are different drugs that is prescribed by doctors to inhibit the synthesis of nucleotide in different bacteria in case of infection and all. Let's see the first one, sulfonamide. They inhibit the reaction of purine nucleotide synthesis requiring folic acid, that is GAR transformylase and AICR transformylase, using bacteriostatic drugs to control bacterial infection. So in bacteria, this drug is used to stop the inhibition, to stop the formation of nucleotide, thereby killing the bacteria. The class of drugs such as methotrexate, aminopterin, and trimethoprim is used. They inhibit the reaction requiring folic acid for purine nucleotide synthesis, and it is used in TT of cancers like leukemia, used in TT of bacterial infection or urinary tract infection. What will happen? This will not allow the synthesis of nucleotide here in case of leukemia, thereby making the cell die, as there is a no nucleotide synthesis occurring. The next intermediate is 6-mercaptopurine. It is the structural analog of purine, means it looks like purine. It is converted into 6-thioinositol monophosphate by the enzyme HGPRT and called lethal synthesis, as HGPRT is synthesized here and is not result in formation of a correct nucleotide. Thioguanine, it is a guanine analog. It is converted into 6-thio-GMP by enzyme HGPRT, thereby inhibiting the synthesis of the pathway of nucleotide. Next inhibitory drug is azoxystrine. It is the structural analog of glutamine and it is glutamine antagonist, means in place of glutamine it will go and attach at the nucleotide synthesis and it will hamper the synthesis. Next is colchicine. It is used in symptomatic treatment of acute attack of gout. Pribunicid, it is a uricosuric agent, inhibits the tubular reabsorption of uric acid. Now what happens? Due to this, there is a excretion of uric acid. Okay, so allopurinol, it is inhibition of xanthine oxidase enzyme and it inhibits the metabolism of certain anti-cancerous drug. So these were the different inhibitors. Again, this is shown here. These are the different analogs of bases here and its activity or the whatever the effect it does on the synthesis of purines. Thank you. If you like the video, please press like button, share, comment and subscribe the channel and do comment on the video. Thank you so much for watching.